because it's more useful to negotiate with some guy in a suit, right, than... Anyway, f this all. It's getting old, you know. Maybe that's the lesson. Maybe that's the lesson of 2024. It's beneficial to be a dick. Yeah.
Be a dick. Be stupid. Be a genocide-loving dick, and you're gonna do just fine. Yeah. Merry Christmas. I guess. I know this is depressing, but this is the end of the year, Mark. Like, this is we're supposed to, have all these, what did we achieve this year? Well, we saw a bunch of dead people again.
So Trump administration wants to end the war. Trump is complaining that there are a lot of people dying in this horrible war.
The dead people, so many dead people. Any deal, even the worst deal, would have been better than what we have right now. If they made a bad deal, it would have been much better. They would have given up a little bit, and everybody would be living, and every building would be built.
And it seems like he wants to do that by any price there is. So recently there's another thing happened, which is Syria got liberated from Assad regime, and it's a great thing. We congratulate Syrian people. Whatever comes next, this is huge. This is the thing which nobody expected, and I couldn't imagine this happening.
Same. I couldn't believe it was happening. It was like it was insane in the best way you can say the word insane, really. Yeah,
and while the world was thinking that, you know what, we can live with Assad regime, he's fine, at least there is no war, there is no ISIS. Well, it appeared there are things which are worse than ISIS, and this is dictatorship of Assad and horrible regimes doing horrible things. And as people liberated Syria, the worst things since Nazi crimes in 1940s
began the mass burial of persons that had been killed in government custody. When trenches were opened that would be quite deep as 15 meters or 15 feet, 5 meters or 15 feet, they would dump the bodies in there, and then they would fill the trench even at such a depth that potentially this area could be used later for normal burials where the bodies would only be, say, 2 meters deep.
Which are horrible prisons aimed to build as machines of torture and murder of people. Huge mass graves where hundreds of thousands of people are buried, and place for hundreds of thousands more is cleared. So yeah, and this is some kind of a lesson we're trying to get here from this, which is back 10 years ago, 8 years ago, somehow the world decided that, you know what, Assad regime is not worth of toppling, because if you topple, there's going to be some more war. Assad regime is stability.
Yes.
Yeah, it's stability. People are not dying anymore. Everything is peaceful. CNN is not going to, shoot some horrible atrocities of ISIS. So we're good with Assad regime, with Russia in Syria. We just let them have it. Let them have their peaceful time, and don't look. And we go in further. We go in.
We're straying further and further away from God, really. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, and we getting back in time, back to the future, to Ukraine, where everyone is like, hey, you know what? It would have been better if Ukraine just gave up. Nobody would die, right? Everyone would be alive by now and just become Russia.
Alive, sure. Everything would be as nice, I guess, it is in Syria. Not nice at all. Because, this policy of appeasement, I mean, we give it the name now, policy of appeasement. But really what it is policy of just a lot of dead people that you can't see. We're not even talking about big persons here, presidents, leaders of governments, even Assad is not even, any other horrible guy could be there instead of Assad. Any other horrible guy could be there instead of Putin. It's not about these people per se. It's about thousands and hundreds of thousands of dead corpses, people dead, just dead, killed, just tortured and killed, that people overlook when they try to appease dictatorships in the hope of some kind of, the word I hate is stability, really. That's all it is.
What I think there's a problem with people in the West, and there's a problem with their understanding of what is it like living under like authoritarian regime. They think it's like, well, you just cannot go to the election and elect another leader, or you can, or for instance, like if you're not happy with some grocery prices, you cannot protest in the streets or do a strike at your Amazon warehouse or whatever it is. And they don't know what authoritarian regime actually is, and because of that they think, well, what's the worst can happen? Well, mass graves, torture camps, prisons, which can touch everyone. You can be, because, and the reason Ukrainian people are still fighting is because they know that you cannot be safe in this regime, because you know what? Ukrainians lived in this regime for at least 70 years before, and they have memories of their parents and their grandparents, where it doesn't matter your beliefs or your activity or whatever, whoever you are, you can get into this torture camp and get killed, raped, whatever.
Yeah, they're not going to like take into account your previous achievements, your cooperation. You're never going to be a person that is, related to them in any way, shape, or form. To them, you're always subhuman, really. You cannot in any way, shape, or form confirm your loyalty to people who just want to destroy you. And this is another point that is very important, I believe, and is something that is inconceivable for the sorts of Joe Rogan and other guys. And I can't believe I'm thinking about him again, but I guess it makes sense, because that's what he's trying to say. They like to believe that any sorts of murderous regime is just a change of government. Unconstitutional, undemocratic, but they don't see it as literal genocide. They only see it as flags change, whatever, who cares, right? No, it's always about just death. And again, something that is very important, I believe that Syria, Ukraine, those countries are very far away from America. I don't expect Americans to, be empathetic to Syrians or Ukrainians, and especially American politicians to be empathetic to Syrians or Ukrainians ever. But the point is that, well, then I guess we should all just stop yapping about, caring about dead children in Israel or in Palestine, whatever. Let's just accept the fact vocally and just let everybody know that we don't care about dead people because it's just somewhere far away. Let's not bring politics into this. Let's not bring, this is his sphere of influence, or Assad's interests in this and that. Let's not bring in, the World War III, we should concentrate on America first. No, you should just admit, you know what, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit about a mass grave, about a torture chamber, about literal death camps. I don't care, because it's not on my street, it's not in my city, it's somewhere 4,000 miles away from me, and therefore it should happen because I don't give a fuck. But no. Nobody's gonna say this, right? Because everybody's super chill about everything. So they're gonna pretend like it's something else, when in reality it's not.
Yeah, and I mean, again, since there were no cameras in Syrian death camps, right? We haven't seen buildings collapse or something like that. Since there were no, since people from these prisons didn't go out from them and tell their stories, and maybe even if they went and tell their stories, it wouldn't matter. Since then, people don't care, right? It doesn't matter. Just kill people silently. Don't tell anyone. Don't show. Maybe a couple of journalists from some, I don't know, from some very low red media will tell some stories, but nobody will care, right? Just kill people silently, and everyone will be pleased with that, and nobody will tell a word. There are Uyghurs in China. There's a genocide going on, literal genocide. I think there are things much worse than what we haven't covered in Syria. And we know about that. There are accounts of people who lived there we knew about Syria, to be honest, and nobody actually cared, right? And now suddenly people who didn't care the most about those places suddenly care about Ukrainians, right, dying, or Russians dying. And suddenly Ukrainians should just surrender to stop the killings on camera, because killings on camera are bad, though killings off camera are quite okay, right? So we
Are
don't-
actually like, well, people
care?
die, so like, who cares? And I mean, we were supposed to, have this very specific conversation today about specific things, but it's turning into this philosophical question of right and wrong in the modern society. And really, it is quite fitting because, well, this is the end of the year 2024, and the years just keep getting weirder and weirder as we go. And yeah, at this point, like, just I'm trying to talk, and you, Mark, we're trying to talk about some things that, we have all been taught as children, good things are good, horrible things are bad, don't do the bad things, don't do good things. But it's been 3 full years now almost of our lives being completely kind of turned around, and all these concepts are losing their meaning. So, every time something horrible happens, I mean, we all feel bad, but every time these pictures and these videos of these remnants of horrible crimes show up on everybody's feeds, on every single TV in the world, I always think, well, this time maybe this time. But no. We need additional convincing.
Even after this crime, so just found this video. So there's Tucker Carlson, this guy. He apparently is still doing his thing. And so he had a great video. He had Jeffrey Sachs on his program, and he had a great things he said about Assad.
But what I didn't understand and still don't understand is why we're all required to hate Assad. I mean, just speaking for myself, I don't have strong feelings about Assad one way or the other. Apparently, he's protected the Christians, so I'm grateful for that as a Christian. But why am I required to hate Assad? Tulsi Gabbard went and met with Assad. She's been attacked ever since. Has anyone ever explained why Americans should hate Assad?
Well, I guess Adolf Hitler was just a misunderstood painter after all. And
Exactly. I mean,
who gives a fuck about all these 6 million Jews he killed, right? Huh? Who gives a shit? Same goes for Assad. He's just an ophthalmologist.
Just an
from
ophthalmologist from London.
One
He
of
has-
us. A Western culture. London.
He has pictures in his underwear on the kitchen. He's
just
so
regular chill guy.
yeah, he's so cute. He just killed hundreds of thousands of people, tortured to death.
Some
put
of them
women
never
with
saw sunlight.
Yeah, with kids in cages. But that's not ISIS, right? Because ISIS actually filmed that.
You see, I mean, this actually it's a horrible thing. But Assad, he wasn't. I guess up to the date he didn't know. Filming makes you an actual enemy, or I guess he didn't want it. But the point is, it's only bad if you see it with your own eyes, and for you to see it with your own eyes, a bunch of people have to be dead.
Yeah.
Because stopping it before it starts is not good enough. No, like applying yourself and making some logical conclusions out of the things people actually say to you with words like, I'm going to kill all Ukrainian Syrians. Like, they actually sit there and say this thing. And I was like, well, what could he mean by saying he killed all those Ukrainians? Secret, right? So, we actually have to wait for the person to prove to us that he's doing it, and not just by like killing 2 people or 3 people, no, like 100,000, right?
Yeah,
and only then we're like still, but like really, is he as bad as you?
Yeah, we actually have to have a video of him cutting someone's head off before we can go to the conclusion. But even
then, is he like, maybe he had a good reason to cut a person's head
we
off.
should stop all the killings, right? We should.
War is bad.
War is bad, and we should
Peace.
stop that.
Stop the kill. Stop the steal.
Stop CNN from filming all of that. And by the way, and if you think we are some kind of morons who just manipulate facts and try to compare Syria to Ukraine, Assad to Putin or whatever, We have those death camps. I don't know if it's functional yet, but we had at least one death camps. After 2014, by the way, when the world decided that Ukraine should give up its territories for peace and Ukraine agreed to giving up its territories for peace, camps were opened up in the occupied territories where people got tortured and killed and tortured and killed. So yeah, and also we had another occupation which we didn't agree to, but there also were places where people were tortured and killed, and it would be a massive torture and killing if Russians just came to Kiev or to Lviv or wherever they wanted to come.
And unlike in Syria, we actually did have people that we exchanged with some. We sent some Russians to the occupied territories, and we got some of the Ukrainians back before the 2022. So before the war has begun, and these people have written books, like Stanislav Aseyev, for instance, who was a captive in one of these horrible places. The place is called Izolatia. It's in Donetsk, and he just wrote a huge book about how people were treated there, and he had all those proofs and people who corroborated his what he was saying, because they were also there and they were also exchanged between Russia and Ukraine. And so this is not in any way, shape, or form new. Unlike Syria, sadly, unfortunately, even though people were saying these things, because you can never live in isolation, people knew that there were death camps there and people knew that something was going on, but nobody ever listens to these people. And it's only after stupid CNN goes there and makes a bunch of mistakes, by the way, too, which we now know, and I don't want to talk about this, but man, just like, you don't trust, again, everything. When you come into a country when there was just a torturous, murderous regime, you learn not to trust anybody, from the first second you meet them. Sometimes you can just be bamboozled by the people who want to pretend they didn't do anything bad. If you ask any of those guys who are helping Assad now, they're going to be like, well, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I was against it. And it's the same rhetoric that a lot of Russians use now. They're like, well, I didn't do it. I wasn't even there, bruh. I was just like not. So the same way Nazis said that they didn't do anything. I mean, people in Hague were like, we're not innocent. Like, we are innocent. We didn't do shit. It's like, you don't go there and trust, meet this guy. And you know what? If I was a murderous fucking bastard, the first thing I would do if something happened like that is I would pretend that I, am not a part of this regime, that I'm one of the people who suffered. Because, well, how are you going to check if Israel bombed every single the house in Syria where the records were kept? Wink,
Very
wink.
Convenient, right?
Yeah, they just missed it, like, of course. But we're not going to go into that because this is another rabbit hole. But the point is, you can never verify these things. And so, but coming back, you just can't expect. You have to look into these things with a clear mind. When the CNN goes into this country that is liberated and films you these things, it's too late.
By the way,
it's too late.
By the way, there's another point in that. It also shows the ignorance and people not understanding what's going on actually on the ground and what's going on with people living there. People living there know better than those who are coming there to film once in a while. So people on the ground know better than even CIA agents. So we've been told for years and years that those rebels, those are jihadists or whatever. Now it appears those rebels are quite moderate people who want some peace with Israel, right?
I don't know. We don't know what they're going to do. There's
Christmas celebration in Syria right now with trees and like
Western shit everywhere.
Yeah,
no, but in reality, we don't know what's going to happen.
We don't know.
We don't know.
But again, there's like, it appears that what people wanted is actually better than Assad with his hundreds of thousands murdered people, right? So
imagine people didn't want Assad. Crazy.
Yeah. So people are celebrating on the streets, probably for those murderous jihadists who the world was afraid of, because it's more useful to negotiate with some guy in a suit, right, than. Anyway, fuck this all. It's getting old, It's like we're doing
Yeah, we're saying the same thing
in the
over
loop
and over
and over.
again.
And nobody's trying to understand. And the only people who are vocal about this are the people who understand this.
Who suffer from it.
Yeah.
The only people who actually give a shit are the people for whom it's already a bit too late, because they already suffered tremendous losses, like both Ukrainians, Syrians, some Georgians.
But also
like,
those,
name
but
it.
also those who are like who has malicious intent, right? Some Tucker
sure.
Carlsons of the world, Elon Musk's, and whoever, like they're suddenly protecting Assad, they're suddenly protecting Putin, they're suddenly pro-Russian, pro-whatever. So they are talking about it all the time, getting themselves into the media with that.
No, but they pursue their own agenda. Like, it's there for a reason. They want to be something, so they choose the not traditional approach of being, well, I'm like not like the other girls. You know, other girls, they support the good. I'm gonna be the baddie. I'm gonna have an alternative fact reality where I don't support the current thing, and they end up supporting literal fascists and Nazis and mass murderers. Which is, I guess, a new thing that, you know, I sometimes think they just do it out of spite, because, you know, they hate the elites. So they're like, we're just gonna support the thing that they hate, even though the thing that they hate is heinous and deserving of hate. So I don't even know. Yeah, but this is getting old. Guys, please support us by subscribing to this channel. Please share these videos, even if those videos are just some random musings of two tired people suffering from the inequalities and inequities of the world, because we're born in a country that wants to be its own thing. Please leave a comment with your, you know, things that you decided this year, maybe some, you know, summary of this year, your New Year's resolutions. Yeah, Merry Christmas. I guess. I know, this is depressing, but this is the end of the year, Mark. Like, this is we're supposed to, you know, have all these, you know, what did we achieve this year? Well, we saw a bunch of dead people again. Yay. No,
Yeah,
not really.
dead Koreans now. Okay, we have to wrap it up.
Yes, thank you guys very much for being with us in this. We are actually going to film another video until the end of this year, I guess. Maybe we're going to put some Christmas themes. Maybe we're going to put some Christmas ornaments.
Yeah, maybe we'll have to
and make another very depressing video.
Remember
But
we did.
There's going to be a snowman.
There should be some like top 5 something, right?
Oh, right, we did it last year. We did a top 5 morons.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, we're gonna just do top 5
those people are
genocides.
now
I don't know.
ruling America, so we should do the another one.
We should, like, by the way, we should look back at that. We should do a.
It appears
where 2000 top 5 morons. Where are they now? And like,
and
all
they
of them
like,
are
much
like
better off. Like, maybe that's the lesson. Maybe that's the lesson of 2024. It's beneficial to be a dick. Yeah.
Be a dick. Be stupid. Be a genocide-loving dick, and you're gonna do just fine. See you next week. Bye.
Bye.